It's a new thing that's sweeping the land when you don't know which way to go. The answer is Jesus and Elevation Radio.
Oh, my goodness. God bless you. Welcome to Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner. I'm so glad to take the journey with us this week. This is the program that spotlights positive people doing positive work while serving a positive God, and that God's name is Jesus. If you don't like it, listen, turn it down, because this is all we're going to talk about. Yes, indeed. And we shout out to our main sponsor, and that's G-O-D, baby, G-O-D. Yeah. And so we're going to have a celebrity co-host here today. If you can read that verse to rehearse, where is it coming from?
That's Mark 7 and verse 10.
All right. Go preach, say, read.
Okay. For Moses said, honor thy father and thy mother, and whoso curseth father or mother, let him die the death.
Good God Almighty. Amen. Our topic today is sociopathic tendencies. Sociopathic tendencies. The question is, where is the spirit of appreciation? In today's society, being self-absorbed is paramount. The spirit of me, myself, and I seems to be pervasive. And so we have to get right into it. And so the acts of appreciation, could we return to the days of yesterday where people fully appreciated each other and their parents and even, wow, God. This program is so heavy today, I had to bring in several celebrities. And one is my wife, the lovely Leora, First Lady Turner. Say hello.
Hello out there.
All righty. And where are you from?
I'm from New York.
Lord help us, Jesus. And so my celebrity co-host is Pastor Black. Say hello.
Hello, people.
All righty. And where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Lord have mercy. 2 double doses of New York. This is going to be heavy. So let's ask this question. I can answer it briefly. Who is Pastor Black?
Oh, Pastor Black is pastor of the Way Church of Christ in Brooklyn, New York. Actually living in Maryland now. We have our church meetings quarterly and also by phone weekly. I'm also a street evangelist. I'm also the founder of Brownsville Matters, a Christ-centered anti-gun and gang violence organization, and also organizer of youth empowerment through real education for young people to know who they are in Christ Jesus.
You are a heavyweight, therefore overly qualified to be here. God bless you. And so this subject matter you should be familiar with if you're dealing with gangs and guns. And also corporate people too, is sociopath, and is defined as a person of a personality that basically is highly disturbed in terms of being very intense, usually says very intellectual, and has gross behavior and attitude, and a lack of conscience, which means basically they can do crimes and do horrible things and have no remorse. I understand also they have no fear. And so this is something that is so commonplace and getting more commonplace today that, and we look at it historically, it's even in the Bible. There were sociopaths in the Bible, and I'm sure. Can you name one sociopath in the Bible?
Well, I would say Pharaoh.
There you go. Put you on a bell. That's one of them. And we've got another one, Nimrod. Herod. All those guys were. We got Jezebel. Woo! My God. And so,
Nebuchadnezzar.
careful now, your intelligence is showing, Bible scholar. And so, I think psychologically, according to Psych Hub, it says there really is no difference between a sociopath and a psychopath. That it is just the level that a psychiatrist put on them. In other words, if you have a different level, you may have to take more medications. You may have to pay more. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think of the, we've had some crimes here in Baltimore that were very atrocious. A sergeant that was shot in front of his house by two robbers in broad daylight on a busy street. We've had a Muslim gentleman who was assaulted as he went to work as an employee for the police department at 6 a.m. in the morning, where I didn't know that homies and gangbangers were actually up that early assaulting him, and even females. Actually, the largest gang group now is women. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, well, evil doesn't sleep.
And that's kind of what they say biblically, what Jesus was talking about and Paul, was the fact that the lack of godlessness is what has so much so that you send yourself out of the will of God. And that's pretty incredible. Do you have any comments about that? Well, let me go to my wife, Leora.
Yes.
Have you ran into some sociopathic people in your time in New York and Baltimore? Heartless people, cold-hearted?
Probably cold-hearted people.
Okay. Don't name no names. Well, we can trouble.
I mean, when I was younger, like when I was in school, like the girls and the guys in the school, I thought they were like sociopaths because the things they would do, they were like want to fight all the time or pick on you or put something on your shoulder and say, I heard you knock my mother off the roof. Oh, crazy stuff. You know?
Oh,
these are the
so this is classic New York stuff, huh? Okay. Did not know.
They do stuff like that.
So bullies are sociopathic. Amazing. Interesting.
They are.
Wait a minute, now we got a caller here. Let's see where we're going here. All right, you're on Elevation Radio 1. How can we help you? Hello. All right, when you get the courage, you can call back. Okay, let us move into something a little bit. Well, let me ask you before I go into this. How would you deal with a sociopath? What do you do with someone like that who has no feeling, no emotion? I often watch American Greed, and I'm amazed by the true stories of, basically it's financial, Ponzi schemes and Bernie Madoff and folks like that, well-known and unknown, that have taken advantage of people and robbed them. One guy even robbed his own mother in a Ponzi scheme. No conscience whatsoever.
Wow.
One guy was a pastor in the Mormon church. So I guess my question is, what do you do? How do you handle someone like that as a Christian? Lord have mercy.
Well, go ahead. All right. I would say as a Christian, first thing is that we need to be able to sit in a position where we can judge that what they're doing is wrong, because we live in a society where people walk around saying only God can judge me, and not realizing that there are two different kinds of judgment. In the first kind of judgment, we decide whether something is right or wrong, and we bring it to light. In the second kind of judgment, we there's a penalty for that wrong, and we don't mete out the penalty. That's for God, but we are in a position as the church, because the church is the word says for us to cry aloud and spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet, and let the people know about their sin. But the church has had its tongue tied for so many years, cannot speak against any kind of sin, cannot tell anybody that their behavior is sociopathic or psychopathic in any way, because they're going to say, who are you to judge me? So that's the first thing that we need to deal with in the church, is to get our teeth back and get out there and start doing some biting and letting people know that, yes, the church does judge. The church is in the land as the salt, and if the salt has lost its savor, wherein shall the earth be salted? So we are out there to tell people about their sin. So there are, and this sin is far more prevalent than we would think, because of the mindset of the people. And that mindset is very, very demonic. And so we would have to deal with it through spiritual warfare.
Well, I gotta go here. Thank you, Pastor Black. But I gotta go here because people read newspaper articles and social media, and if you want to Google something, you can actually come up with some stuff here. There is something, since you mentioned the church, religious sociopaths, which I found to be very, very enlightening. Shocked me for a second. It says a person that's highly intelligent, that actually is, if I can get my eyes together, very exploitive and very charming. And it says here that, but has the intention of doing severe harm, has no problem without any remorse, and has no concern about the consequences. And so I was talking to it's going to get tough now, talking to a minister of music who had played at church for 10 years, and found out that he was no longer there. Faithful, reliable, quiet, studious, proficient. And I said, why are you no longer there? He said, well, the new pastor came in and just fired him right and left. And didn't care about his accolades, didn't care about his time, didn't really care about his family. And then it made me think about the war stories I've had myself as a minister of music over the years, where if I am knowingly calling in to say that I'll be a few minutes behind, that happens every now and then, that the pastor doesn't want to pay me at all. Cut my salary. Right. I've been fired without any type of remorse. What about my wife? What about my bills? What about, right. Can I at least finish the week out? I mean, isn't this the house of God?
Right.
How come you got no?
Right.
I mean, I've been treated by corporate America that gave me a severance package better than any pastor of any church, and I've been playing for over 50 years. Something wrong here.
That would speak to your wolves in sheep's clothing. And we would expect those wolves to be in the church, and not of the church, but in the church, because the destruction that they mete out is against the children of the Most High God. They're not coming against their own, but they come as a wrecking ball to destroy the children of God. So we should not be surprised when we find that they are in the church, because Satan himself presents himself as an angel of light. So when we find that he does that, he's not out there in the world doing that, but he's in the church. And we should always, yes. Yeah, so we ought to understand that, these things are in the Word of God. It lets us know so that we would not be ignorant of the wiles of the devil and how he's going to present himself. So that way we know what his plan is. And so we can cut him off at the path. And we do that by the power of the blood of the Lamb.
Well, go ahead now. I like to clap your hands. This is all right. If you have an opinion, you like what Pastor Black is saying, and my wife is saying, call in at 1-914-205-5353. Straight up evangelism, right on the radio. I like it. Yeah.
Amen.
Okay. I love it. Now, I got to get heavy. Somebody say heavy.
Heavy.
Somebody say heavy. Yep. Follow the cues now.
Heavy.
Okay. It talks about the beast and the Antichrist in Revelations. And so I have to look at this, and it's going to blow your mind. There is the Antichrist would be a politician. His name, that's what it says. Political power. And so, I was looking at Trump, and I'm thinking, like, it just probably is it. But then I had to look at something here there is a politician out of the squad that I have focused in on, and her name is Ilhan Omar. And Ilhan actually means to speak in a beautiful voice, to recite the Quran, which is not the Bible. Okay, that's what it means.
Right.
And so what it boils down, she's from the 5th Congressional District in Minnesota. And so I said, I've got pastors, male pastors, who are fascinated by her appearance, I guess, and are fighting me on Facebook about how wonderful she is, and blah, 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 and she can speak out, and blah, 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 blah. And I have a problem because she's too fresh, too new to have so much mouth, so much ambiguity, so much to say. She doesn't know what she's doing. She hadn't really been there long enough. She hadn't developed any rapport, any people on her side. They really know the knowledge of what's happening, and that's where I have a problem. I was watching TMZ, and I see it on TMZ in the Christian Forum that it said that Ilhan Omar was actually caught coming out of a restaurant with a new man, not her husband, but a new man.
Okay.
And so when you open your mouth too much and you talk too much, you got too much to say, you will, and you're accusing and you're attacking the president of the United States, your boss, you eventually, the eyes will be following you. So, didn't you know that before you did it? And then what it says here in this article, the profile of a sociopath, is that she was married to a guy named Hasir. They had 3 kids. While they were married, she divorced him. She's been divorced twice now. She actually believes that she is actually, her new husband is Ahmad, that he is actually a British citizen, and they believe that she married him only to get him into this country. And top this off, because there's a new movement now, Pastor Black, I saw on Dr. Phil, where first cousins want to get married. They believe that, in this article, that she has married her brother. Ahmad is her brother. Lord have mercy.
No,
so
it was her cousin.
Huh? Well, this article says brother. Well, maybe the first husband was a cousin. No, this article says her brother. So the point is that he's a citizen of the British Isles, and got him in here so he can actually become a U.S. citizen. The point, she's now gone back and had another child against her brother, which is her husband, with the first husband. So someone said we have no problem with her, a politician from Sudan, but we have a problem with this one. And these were people over in Sudan. So the point, I guess I'm saying, is how can you don't get mad because Israel don't want you over there? You are a what's the word I'm looking for? Adulterer. You defy the laws of the state of Minnesota by being involved with your brother. You are loudmouth. You've got too much to talk about, and you're not even doing what you need to do correctly. So what do they need you over there for? To do what? You don't like them. What do you think about it?
Well, there are so many different things that are going on in the world today. When we have a large push for the acceptance of sin, for us to embrace sin, it gets to the point where it's not really shocking anymore when these things take place. And when we see that there's always a strong push for our children, even from kindergarten, to embrace homosexuality. And there's, I can't think of the word right now, where they teach them to accept it, to embrace it. And they read from the kindergarten, my 2 dads, and so forth. So all of that sets the stage. Once we embrace that as a society, then the door is open for such things as marrying your brother and so forth. So that door has been opened. And we know that those that are under the umbrella of all of these different, LBGT, whatever, all of the different letters that they have out. Yeah, well, let's throw that in there too. So, but once we have that door open, all sorts of sin is coming through that door. And, there's a push in different places that they want to sleep with children as well. And so, for someone to sleep with their brother, is probably less offensive than someone that's sleeping with underage children. And we know that there are politicians that go from this country over to other countries to do this all the time, sleeping with underage children. And this is, I'm not scared of the devil, so I'm not gonna watch myself because God got my back. I'm okay. Praise the Lord. So I have watched this thing get worse and worse over the years because what has happened is that we have preachers that are not called preachers. And people sit up under their ministry, but they're actually talk show hosts. And talk show hosts, they preach a false gospel, and they tell you, they show you something over and over again until you begin to accept it. And they say, "What's the matter with that? Why are you upset that you're seeing this?" And it breaks you down to the point where you begin to take their point of view as your point of view. And now you no longer understand that that anything changed. And we have now a society that not only embraces the sin of homosexuality, but they promote it even if they're not of that lifestyle. And when we look at different things like this, we have to understand that there are spiritual doors that are being opened, and it's worse than anybody's Pandora's box because the devil is on the loose, and he's out to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Amen. Amen.
My mama said, she, God rest her soul, she asked me a question: why does pastors keep their mouth shut and have so many homosexuals in the church? And I said, I don't know. She said, because they have money, and they're able to support and buy their way and pay the bills. Oh my God! So I don't know.
I'm not even saying that they don't belong in the church. They need to be where they can get saved. But the problem is that when we embrace sin, there is no reason for them to change, that they're there to stay as they are. You can come as you are, but you can't stay as you are, because even as when we come in as fornicators, we are not to stay as we are. We ought to change. But when we begin to understand that, like the sin of homosexuality, it changes everything about you. It even manipulates the voice. It manipulates the mannerisms of the body, and it's under the sin of pride, and that's why you begin to see your gay pride parades and so forth. And then you have to also yes. So and it's just so for me to hear about this politician, I never heard of her before, but not surprised. That's what I would say. Not surprised.
Oh. I mean, we've had a gay president before, according to a friend of mine who's a white attorney. He said Abe Lincoln was gay. He used to take advantage of the guys in the veterans in the hospital. Woo, my God! So I don't know. This is too much for my
we've
wife.
Also been taken advantage by him by being taught that he freed the slaves when he wrote a letter to Horace Greeley, stating that if I could have saved the Union without freeing one slave, I would have. So, it's so many different things that go on, and we live in a country that just feeds off of lies. So there's so many things that are coming to light and revelation in these last and evil days that God is pulling back the curtain and showing us, and we know that the word says that we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. But God is opening up revelation in these last days and showing us the lies are being exposed, and light is being shined in darkness to expose the hand of the enemy. And through the prayers of the church, we make the way slippery for the enemy, so that when he comes to eat up our flesh, that he stumbles and falls. And then in our spiritual warfare, we cause confusion in the ranks of the enemy and cause them to fight against themselves instead of to fight us. Praise God. So
I think I got you. I think I got you wind up now because let me ask my wife here. What do you think about that?
I stay warm. I stay wound up. that's who I am. There is no wind down for me.
You're definitely from New York.
Praise the Lord.
So what do you think, Leora? Is she there?
I'm here. On what subject?
Oh my God,
Amen.
she was asleep. Okay, what do you think about this subject of sociopathism? What's all that we've talked about?
Okay, well, I think
you were falling asleep, weren't you?
No, I wasn't falling asleep. No, I think
it don't take much.
I think for us being a sociopath, it's like an act of like you said. Did you mention like it could be selfishness?
Yeah.
It's like there's a word. It's like a behavior.
Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let me try this way. If you're serving and working with a person on a job and you've never been appreciated, and they've used you, they can only talk to you when it's time to use you for something, whether it be in the job, the church, your kids, whatever. You don't get a mother's gift, you don't get a card, but they always want you to do something for them. That's sociopathic. It's one-sided. Would you agree, Pastor Blank?
Oh, most definitely, yes. And when we talk about yeah, go ahead.
Many of us have raised sociopaths and didn't know what we were doing. The child has a problem, and then you let them get away. Like the mother of the shooter, thing in El Paso, said to the police, "My son's got an automatic AR-15 rifle. He doesn't need that. Can y'all do something with him? Because every parent should know that the child got some issues, got some problems. I know my mother knew I had issues." She said, "Something wrong with you." I'll give you back.
Okay.
And if anyone agreed, and don't you agree now, I dare you to call me. I dare you to call me at 1-914-205-5353 and tell me what problems I got. But that's what I'm saying. Every parent should know what happened. Okay, a child is special, and I'm not talking about special gifted, special needs, special issues. Can pull apart frogs and animals' heads off. Something wrong with that. Don't want to hug you. Don't want to say good morning. Don't want to give Mother's Day gift. Something is wrong with that child. You better get something done before they get too big. We got another caller here. Hold on a second. Alrighty. You're welcome to Elevation Radio 1. How can we help you? Hello. You're live. Okay, maybe folks are just afraid to talk. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But folks, reach you, Dr. Black.
What's that?
Where can folks reach you?
Oh, how can people reach me?
Right.
Well, I give out my phone number with no problem, which is 347-447-2244. Also, I do have my phone number. I give it out freely. Yeah, I have it on billboards and everything. No problem. 347-447-2244. Also, you can reach me at Pastor Sherry Black at gmail.com. And Sherry is SHERRI, Black like the color, BLACK. Pastor Sherry Black at gmail.com.
We like black here. We black business, black churches, black. It's black. BLACK.
All black all day.
Now, Leora, you got a business. Let folks know. And you better not be calling my wife for no foolishness either. Because you got a sweet voice. I'm warning you. Tell us your business real fast. Leora?
I have a business called Shop Fremont. And what that does is has natural products, and it helps with joint pain.
10 seconds. You got 10 seconds.
You can call me at 410-588-9050. Again, the number is 410-588-9050.
And if some man starts talking to you, Sandra, you got a sweet voice. You tell him, listen, I'm very, very married to the music man. Yeah.
You got it.
So listen.
Okay.
We thank.
Can I quickly give a business address, email address, not email address, website as well?
Save that for next week. Next week.
Oh, next week. Okay, sorry. All right.
Yeah, the two New Yorkers out of New York.
I apologize.
Listen, I have to be the lion tamer here. Listen, we thank you for listening to Elevation Radio 1. Every good thing must come from the good God Almighty. Never have two New Yorkers on the program at one time. It's very dangerous. Listen, if you see anybody who's got a sociopathic tendency, make sure it's not within you. Make sure you're okay. And just pray, drop down your knees and pray for the other person.
Amen.
And do what's done. Hold them in prayer. And for some, I said, this kind only comes out through fasting and prayer. Put that cupcake down.
Amen. Praise
and then
the
slaughter
Lord.
down. And put that steak down. And pray. Fast. Because if you want peace in your house,
Amen.
with all a bunch of sociopaths, I better pray. There is no other way. I said, I'm showing my age right now. So we thank you again. Listen, if you want to be a guest on this program, email elevationradio1@gmail.com. Elevationradio1@gmail.com. If you'd like to be a sponsor, which of course we love, I got to pay for my wife's meals. You can actually go to www.elevationradio1.info, and that's what it's all about. Listen, keep your head up. Keep your head up. Man, woman, keep your head up.